Thank you, Mr. President. There comes a time that for good men to do nothing, bad things happen. Bad things have happened for taxpayers. I just want to read from the Dallas Morning News. It's their opening line. The tax bill for an average Dallas County homeowner jumped 55% from 2013 to 2018. Think of it. Your tax bill went up 55% in 5 years. Well, I wear a Texas #1 lapel label because I don't want Texas to be #1 on tax rates. Fortunately, we've nearly run Illinois to ground for second place, and they're still behind New Jersey. And that was calculated by a news organization as a tax increase of $1,900. The average home is $191,000. Wow. But that's how property taxes work. So a home that's worth $191,000 now is paying $1,900 more. And I submit very strongly that $1,900 is 2 to 3 times faster than their paychecks have gone up. It's real healthcare money. It's real education money. It's real entertainment money. It's money that family could have done anything else with except pay the government. Because this isn't mystery. It's fact. Now, this doesn't have to be a partisan issue because this is an everybody pays issue. Everybody pays property taxes. I don't care where you work, what you look like, who you sleep with. The only other thing that's inevitable is death, except taxes. So when we have a bill like this, wherever increases are too strong, as values increase, tax rates will go down. That's a good thing. Because I don't want people to pay 55% more money in 5 years. It's unsustainable. Now, there were so many good comments made, but I have to concentrate on my newest friend because he made a comment that I think is perfect. We want Texans to keep a piece of the Texas sky. Gosh, does that summarize this debate? Because that's what SB 2 does. It lowers property tax rates as values go up. And it puts hundreds of dollars back into people's pockets. Thousands if they own their home long enough. And more importantly, it gives hope to those millennials I talked about when I opened this debate up this morning. Because it's those millennials that have to pay for a $448,000 house when I was there with my wife and we paid for a sold a $148,000 house. There are times when good men and women have to take a stand for the taxpayers. And I submit, after documented evidence, that we have major urban areas where taxpayers are paying 55% more money in 5 years, that it's time. It's well past time. We've had this rollback rate at 8% for 38 years. And because of that, we've put home and business ownership at risk. Now, I'm going to close with a story. There was a little-known tax assessor 16 years ago that went with 3 freshman representatives and 2 busloads of people from a radio station. They were down in the annex and in the arena, the in the large conference room. And they came in, I'm told by a chairman that they would have to be in their seats at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that intrepid band of 300 Spartans got on a bus, and at 5:30 in the morning they left. And they came to the Capitol expecting to be welcomed by a committee chairman because their testimony was valid. Their testimony was Houstonians who came to the Capitol seeking tax relief because Harris County in Houston was at the epicenter. It's the first county in. Dallas is number one now, but Harris County was number one then. They went to that hearing. They were told to be in their seats, and then another bill was called, and then a session occurred, and then lobbyists were taken one by one, and not a single taxpayer was heard. Well, that little-known tax assessor leaned over to 3 state reps and said, at 257, I leaned over and said, I'm expendable. I'm going to object. I will be tossed out. You guys can't because you've got to vote. And I remember after saying that and waiting, a clear trumpeted voice came over the back of the hall and said, Mr. Chairman, I object. And that was your Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick. And the rest, I would say, is history. But it was my newest shift mate who summed it up best to the press. Well, she told me later that she was happy to be here on the 3rd shift to see property tax relief passed. Because we've been working this problem an awfully long time. So I give a clarion call to my members of the other party. Join us. Join us. Help the taxpayers. They can't afford 55% more in the next 5 years on their tax bills. Join us. Because this is real property tax relief. In a hypothetical city that lost $117 million, there's no more than 1 million residents. Do the math. That's $117 per resident, 04 residents per home. That's $500 or nearly $500 per home. This is real tax relief. How do I know it's real tax relief? Because 2.5% on schools is already a 2.5 budget item in our budget. Billions. Not $1.65 a day or a month or an hour or a minute. It's real money. Join us, because that's what tax relief demands now. They don't care what party you are. They don't care how you got elected. They just want to stay in their homes, and they just want to have a business. And if they have a burger stand or a taco truck, they dream of having a brick and mortar facility that they can do business out of. Because it's about keeping that piece of Texas sky. So just the school portion alone is $2.5 billion in the first biennium, $4.5 billion in the second biennium, $6.5 billion in the third. Now, like all things, history will record what is done today, but more importantly, the taxpayers, I hope, have hope. And I think that the passage of Senate Bill 2, if it says anything, is that they hope to keep their piece of the Texas sky. And with that, Mr. President, I move final passage of Senate Bill 2.
Senator Bettencourt moves final passage of Committee Substitute Senate Bill 2. Secretary will call the roll.
Alvarado, Bettencourt, Birdwell, Buckingham, Campbell, Creighton, Fallon, Flores, Hall, Hancock, Hinojosa, Huffman, Hughes, Johnson, Colcourse, Lucio, Menendez, Miles, Nelson, Nichols, Paxton, Perry, Powell, Rodriguez, Schwertner, Seliger, Taylor, Watson, West, Whitmire, and Zaffarini.
Being 18 ayes, 12 nays, 1 present not voting, Committee Substitute Senate Bill 2 is finally passed. Congratulations.